Well, hello again, my wonderful students. How's it going? Mr. Reynolds here. Wow, it's another week. We're here for another week, and I'm so glad to see you. Well, you get to see me. All I get to see is like my face on a screen. But I hope that you are well. I hope that you are having some fun and that you're learning some things. And it's good. I'm happy to be here to share a few minutes with you each week. So we're going to get started today. We're going to talk about our previous two assignments. We're going to talk about our next two assignments. I'm going to introduce a new game and give you a fun little challenge to do. So that's kind of the plan for today. Okay, so we had two assignments previously. We had Name That Rhythm, which is I clapped rhythms, and you try to figure out which rhythm matched what I clapped. And then we had, what was the other one? It was note identification. Thank you. Note identification. So you had each note that you were supposed to figure out the name for, kind of a review from all the testing that we were doing before we were all quarantined. So just a reminder that those are due today. So get those done and turn them in. And then you have a new set of assignments that we're going to talk about right now. Okay, so one thing to know is that all of this note identification stuff that we've been doing is actually just half the story. So there is a whole other clef out there. It's called bass clef. So the clef that we've been working with that we call G clef, I told you that the real name was treble clef. Well, we have a whole new clef to talk about today, and that's called bass clef. Since we call treble clef, we call it G clef. Bass clef, what do we call that? Bass clef we actually call the F clef, and we'll talk about that in a second. So here is the assignment. It says watch music lesson number 4, which is this lesson. You're watching it right now for instructions on how to complete this assignment. So here are your instructions. First off, I just want to talk about how this treble clef business is only half the story. So here are all the notes right here that we've already learned, right? We've learned C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. We've learned all of these notes already. And those notes sort of represent the higher notes, a higher instrument or a higher singing voice. But what about lower notes or lower part of a piano or lower instruments, lower singing? What are those? Well, if you were to keep going lower and lower and lower, eventually you would bump into this bass clef. So this sort of image really wonderfully captures that. You just keep going lower and lower and lower, and it changes to a different clef. Okay? And that is this bass clef right here. So we've already learned all the note names of these higher notes. Now we're going to start learning the note names of these lower notes. So here we have the treble clef. We know every good boy does fine right here. E, G, B, D, F. We've already learned that. And F, A, C, E, face. We've already learned that. But now we're going to learn the bass clef versions. So the bass clef lines are G, B, D, F, A. The thing that this document says is good boys do fine always. It's not my favorite thing, you know. You could come up with your own little funny little acronym like goofy billionaires dance frantically alone. You know, there's that for you. You can come up here with your own if you wish. And then the lines are A, C, E, G. All cows eat grass. That one's nice. I like that one. All cows eat grass. So, but it's the same sort of process. Instead of using this method of naming the notes, you're going to now use this method of naming the notes. And how do you know which one to do? How do you know which one to use? Well, this little swirly thing, symbol, that's a treble clef. So you're going to use the treble clef for that. And this little curly Q one over here with the dots, that is bass clef. And you're going to use the bass clef method with that. So this image is on your assignment. So if you're lost, if you're stuck, this image, I just give it to you because we're learning something new. I'm trying to give you as much help as possible. So the second page on this assignment is where we actually are going to do some work. So this first part looks familiar, doesn't it? It's just like the assignment you did. But instead of treble clef, it's bass clef. So now you're going to be putting in, so you're like, what is this? Oh, this one right here. Oh, I know that one's an A. And this one right here, oh, I know that's a B. You can type it in right there. Remember, you can click on these assignments in the boxes and you can write your answers right there. You don't have to do anything fancy. And then so these are just like what we did before. I'm going to pause really quick. So this thing right here, you can use it. If you need to use it for every single note, you can use it. But I challenge you. Here's the challenge. I challenge you. That's you. I'm talking to you. I challenge you to use it as little as possible. Like, obviously, to start off with, you're going to be using it a lot. But as you get used to it, maybe halfway through the assignment or a quarter of the way through the assignment, start using it less. And it'd be cool if by the end, you didn't have to use it at all. Okay, that's just my challenge to you. Okay, so we already talked about this. This is just like what we had already done. But here, this is the trickier part. Here, I've given you what's called a grand staff. A grand staff is when you combine the treble clef and the bass clef staves together in one. And you can see there's notes on the treble clef, and then it jumps down, and there's notes on the bottom, bass clef, and then treble clef, and then bass clef. And so what I want you to do is I want you to name the notes, but you have to jump back and forth. So it's like you have this method in your mind. It's like, ooh, it's E, G, B, D, F. Oh, no, wait, it's not E, G, B, D, F anymore, and you have to switch back and forth. I'm purposefully making it so you have to switch back and forth between two different ways of thinking. So you're going to name these four right here, and then you're going to name these four right here. And so you're jumping back and forth between treble clef and bass clef, treble clef and bass clef, okay? And you have to do that with two different staffs. This one starts bass clef and goes back and forth. But still, it's the same process. So in this way, you have to actually use both the treble clef method and the bass clef method to do the bottom two things here. Okay? That's your first assignment. Second assignment is body rhythm. No, sorry, not body rhythms. Name that rhythm. There we go. We did name that rhythm number 1. Well, this is name that rhythm number number 2. Okay, so this time there's only 6. We only have 6 instead of 8, so there's fewer options, but each option is longer. Okay, so it's gonna maybe be a little bit more difficult for you because it is longer. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. Let me just pull out my key. Okay, here we go. So number 1. Here's number 1. I'm gonna pause real quick just remember this is the exact same instructions as name that rhythm number 1. You listen to me, clap the rhythm. I tell you this is number 1, and whichever rhythm is the same as number 1, you put the number 1. So if this one is number 1, you're going to put a 1 right there as your answer, saying, I think the first rhythm Mr. Reynolds did is this rhythm right here. That is how it works. Okay, rhythm number 1. Here's actual rhythm number 1. Okay, here we go. Rhythm number 1. 1, 2, ready, go. Just so you know, there were rests there. Rests. I didn't do anything on the rests. I didn't go shh, or I didn't count softly. I'm just clapping, and so just know that there were rests there. So listen to how I count off as a hint. Okay, here is number 2. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, here is rhythm number 3. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, rhythm number 4. 1, 2, ready, go. I apologize for all the loud booms and bangs that are happening. My children are running around a lot and making noise, so it happens. Okay, number 5. Number 5. 1, 2, ready, go. And last, number 6. How do I do that? There, number 6. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Remember, you can rewind and try again and pause and all of those things to get as much help as you can possibly need for that assignment. Okay, those are your 2 assignments. And then I have a couple bonus things. Remember, I sort of snuck this one in. So we have something called body rhythm. This is sort of a challenge, okay? This document I'm going to give to you, and I want you to see if you can do it. So I'm just going to talk about it, and I'm going to do it for you, actually. So this is called body rhythm number 1, clapping knees. I'm going to see if I can make my picture a little bit bigger here. Okay, so this is not an assignment. This is just bonus for fun, okay? The top line is all the clapping that you might do, and the bottom line is smacking your knees. So smacking your knees or clapping your hands. Okay, those are your 2 choices. And so you'll notice is that as you count along, you're going to be changing instruments. You're going to be changing from your clapping instrument to your knee instrument back and forth. So I want to do it for you here so you can see what it's like. And I challenge you to do it, work on it, practice it, and see, and maybe even perform it for your family. It'd be cool. Okay. So here we go. I'll do it for you. I have to stop partway through to scroll down. Okay. I will be scrolling down. It's kind of going to interrupt it, but that's okay. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. And now I have to scroll. Sorry. Here's the bottom part. 1, 2. I'm starting right here on measure 13. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. That's my example. I encourage you to do it yourself. Remember, if you're clapping your knees, you're not clapping your hands. You see they rest. This is resting when this is playing, and this is resting when this is playing. So this is a fun little thing. It might be a little twisty, might mess with your mind a little bit, trying to alternate back and forth between different instruments. But I encourage you to do it and work on it. It's a fun thing to do. Okay, last thing is the game of the week. It's another card game. So the game of the week is called Idiot. I know it's not maybe the nicest name, but it's Idiot. It's a really cool game. This is a game I played a ton when I was younger. Middle school and high school, I played it a ton. So this is a game where there's no winners, but there's one loser. Okay? So everyone's a winner except for the one loser in this game. So you have to play with more than one person. It's not a solo game, but you can play it with as many people as you want. I posted the rules on Google Classroom. So go ahead and take a look at those. It's super fun. I like that game. I haven't played it in a while, but I thought about it, and I think it's a game that you guys will enjoy. Okay? I'm not going to talk about it much right here. The rules talk about there are YouTube videos. There are YouTube videos that teach you how to play it, but I'm going to post the rules, and I encourage you to try out the game Idiot with your friends and family. Well, not friends probably, but your family. It's a lot of fun. Okay, that's it for me. Okay, guys? It's so nice to see you again. I hope you're all safe, and I miss you all. Most of you know I miss all of you. I'm just kidding. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. And then you get to sit there as I turn off this recording because it takes a while. Okay, this is for real. Bye.